So, you know those games, Would You Rather? Would you rather sleep with Ryan Gosling or get chocolate for free every day? Those things. They're hilarious, right? Okay, so here's the thing. I think the perfect example, real life example of would you rather can be found in the Bible. And because I can't help but literally critique everything, because you studied literature, and I also studied world religions, it's a thing I do. So I was thinking, it seems like the original game of Would You Rather comes from Genesis in the beginning of the Bible. So here's my question. Would you rather choose the path of God or eat from the fruit or eat from the tree of good and evil? You probably think, obviously, I choose the path of God because Satan is evil and Eve was tricked by Satan. Was she really? Here's the game. So, in the Bible, at the very beginning, after Adam and Eve are, created, and they're being shown the Garden of Eden with all the animals they got to name, and you're going to live forever, and it's going to be very peaceful, and this is all yours. I created all this for you. Go play. So, why would God put this tree in the middle of the garden? They're not allowed to eat from it. Okay, sure, I get that. This is poison fruit. But then why would God create poison fruit to begin with? I digress. So, symbolically, the tree is there, obviously as temptation. Maybe, perhaps, I don't really think so. When the serpent, Satan, came to Eve and said, "Did God really tell you can't eat this fruit? Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, he said if we eat it, we'll die." Remember that part. And the serpent says, "You're not gonna die. If you eat that fruit, your eyes will be open." God neglected to tell you that little tidbit. If you eat the fruit, your eyes will be open. You'll have the knowledge. You'll be like God. Knowledge. Okay, so symbolically, if this were literature, which it is, the serpent is saying that God doesn't want you to have knowledge. That's bullshit, girl. You got to eat that fruit and have some brains. Your eyes will be open. So she's like, that sounds pretty good. I would like to have knowledge. I'd like to know what God knows. Eats the fruit. Banished from paradise. Okay, so let me repropose this to you. Would you rather choose the God path, stay in the garden, or eat the fruit that the serpent said you should eat, and then get kicked out of the garden? So which path would you choose? You probably still choose the God path, right? Okay, here we go. So if you choose the God path, which many of you probably will, you'll have eternal life. It'll be perfect. It'll be perfect life. No problems, no worries, no disease, no crime. Nothing to worry about. It's complete paradise. Think of like Tahiti, Hawaii times 10,000. But you have no real free will. You'll have no real adventure. Nothing changes. Nothing new. At least not that we know of. We weren't told what would happen if we got to stay in the Garden of Eden. So we really don't have an adventure. No real choices to make. No independence. No growth or change. Your only purpose is to live and worship, or else. I know some of you are saying, well, we wouldn't know any different. We would be happy. Yeah, that only goes so far. Here's the thing. Say we stayed in the Garden of Eden for presumably eternity. At some point, people would probably start to question, I'm bored. I don't want to do this anymore. It will happen. Human psychology. God created it. If God created us the way we are, He gave us the capacity to ask questions. So if you stay in the garden, your purpose is to just live and worship. That's it. Or else. I feel like playing God. I'm going to create these people and these animals and these trees. There, I made this thing. Love me. Or else. Is there an option B? So if you choose Satan's path, you will have a shorter life. You won't live 1,000 years. You'll live, at this time, you'll live 50 to 60 if you're lucky. You'll have a shorter life. You'll have pain. There'll be disease, crime. You'll experience the worst of humanity. Dead babies, painful, horrific death, murder, illness. You'll struggle once the concept of money comes along. Good luck to you. But as time goes on, and even at the time this supposedly took place, there was such thing as goodness. People had good lives. People were happy. And to turn that we wouldn't know any different argument against you, whoever, these people didn't know any different either. Like, we don't know any different now. If our society was communist or Nazi, fascist, we wouldn't know any different. So that's the thing. The way life ended up turning out for us, because we took Satan's path, as these people who lived at the time the Bible was put together, yeah, it was rough. They didn't have long lifespans, didn't have good technology that we know of. They were being invaded. There was conflict with different religions. Wasn't fabulous, but the point is, no matter when you live or where you live, you always have options. 90% of the time. Some people don't have options today. You have options. You at least have free will. You have the ability to fight. You can make choices. You have reasons to live. Even when your life is shit, you're a slave. You've been kidnapped. You're being tortured. You're being held against your will. I'm thinking of situations in India with women. I'm thinking of even women in this country who've been kidnapped or raped or whatever. Even when life is utter shit and death looks pretty good, you always have a reason to live. Many purposes to life, even if you choose the Satan's path and eat the fruit, which happened, okay? So life can still be happy. You can enjoy life and reap the benefits, even though you have and probably still will experience the worst of humanity. You also will experience the best. So, giving this a real world scenario, obviously I have chosen Satan's path, right? A lot of people out there like to think they've chosen God's path, because in the end they believe they will have eternal life in paradise, that this life right now is just a temporary condition, which is a really sad way to look at something that was given to you. Life is a gift. God, why are you so eager to return it? Jesus. So many of us have chosen Satan's path in that we're like, no, I have my free will. I have independent thought. I have opinions. I matter. I'm going to have adventure and fun in my life. I'm going to experience all these things, bad and good. I'm going to have a good life. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to suck at times, but it's my life. And I'm going to live it the way I want to. The people who have chosen the God path, as I have presented it, they have given their life to their God and their religion and the prospect of eternal life, which is their business, just like our choices are our business. But let's look at what's going on in the country. If you choose the God path today, yeah, you have faith and belief. Good for you. Awesome. But in the real world, in everyday life, it kind of gives you free reign. It gives you some privilege in this country. You have the illusion of being better than the rest of us, the Satan people, the Satanists, the devil worshippers, the demons. You have the illusion of being better than us. It gives you some imaginary authority over us. Like, if I'm pro-pagan, I support equality for pagans. We should be able to worship openly without discrimination. We should be able to say Merry Yuletide, Merry Solstice. I'm pro-pagan. I support my people. Yeah. More often than not, that translates to anti-Christian. Everything's anti-Christian. If you're pro-choice, you're anti-Christian. If you don't support prayer in school, you're anti-Christian. The God people, and I don't mean to be offensive, but at the same time I don't really care because I want people to really hear this. The God people think that there's a war against them. There is not. The Satan people want to be left the fuck alone and live their godless heathen life. Okay? The God people, like I said, have some imaginary authority that God supposedly gave them because the rest of us choose hell, I guess, whatever. So, we've got these people. Like in Florida right now, the whole thing where all of a sudden Satanists don't have First Amendment rights. I'm not going to get into the story. A bunch of people from the Church of Satan wanted to be able to hand out literature because if the Christians can, legally we should be able to as well. Fact, but apparently Florida has some different opinions because Florida is special. So, for those of us who have chosen the Satan path, we're not Christian, obviously. We're probably not even really religious people in the more traditional senses. So we've chosen the path of Satan, as I previously described. We choose independent thought. We choose to have our own life with free will. We don't want to spend our life worshiping and sacrificing for God. We just don't. So we're marked. We've been marked. We're beasts. We're heathens. We're demons. We're evil, threatening people. So by choosing knowledge and independence and free will and to have our own lives independent of 10 commandments and all these sins that we have haunting us and guilt and all this stuff, we're like, no, I'm not doing that. This is my life. If I make mistakes, they are my mistakes. When something good happens to me, it's because I made it happen. Suddenly, this makes you dangerous, especially if you're an atheist. Like, if you're pagan, at least you have some kind of belief, but if you're atheist, oh shit. You might as well be the right hand of Satan. So, you're a threat. We're threats. We threaten the moral fibers of this country somehow, and we're ungodly. We're just ruined. So, as somebody who studied literature and world religions, here's what I draw from this. Are you surprised I own one of these? You shouldn't be. So, the lesson I have taken from this, in particular this little blip in Genesis where you can't eat from the fruit of knowledge or good and evil. You can't eat from the tree of good and evil because it will give you the knowledge of God. You will have knowledge of good and evil. The lesson is, if you choose Satan's path, which is purposefully marketed as evil. I use marketed, yeah, it's been marketed. You choose Satan, you are choosing the path of evil. You will have misery, eternal hellfire, torment, you'll scream, and it'll be awful, and burning, and fire, and why would you choose a life where that is the end result? Because that's what they want you to think. Okay? So, we've been tricked. Thousands of years, whatever. We've been tricked, we the people, into believing that we have to be perfectly obedient. Choose God. Choose to remain ignorant. Let God or your king or your master or your landed gentry or whoever, let them take care of you. You have to be obedient to them. If you're obedient to the king, you're obedient to God. The king is as close to God as you can get. That's a real thing. Okay. If you're not obedient, that means you're following Satan, and we will kill you. So do you want to live? Do you want to live under our protection? You have to follow your king or your master. If you're a slave, you have to follow your master and your bosses and be good. Follow the rules. Worship. Tithe. Go to church. Be good. If you don't choose this, and if you are disobedient, and if you do break the rules, if you do have independent thought, if you think for yourself, if you try to live your life independently from the rules, from your God, from your king, from your master, your landed gentry, we're going to kill you. And it's not going to be pretty. You will burn in hell for all eternity. Fuck you. Does anybody else see a problem with this? Does anybody else get it yet? Would you rather choose God and be obedient and perfect and be taken care of for life without threatening the people above you, be good, follow the king? Or would you rather choose the other path, which has been marked as evil and wretched and wrong? Because if you choose that path, you threaten the king and the people above you. You threaten the status quo. You ask questions. You may just fucking make life better for the people at the bottom of the barrel. And they fucking hate that. So I'm going to ask you again. Would you rather follow this path? Whether you want to take it literally or metaphorically as I have presented it to you? Or would you rather choose the path of Satan, which is not evil? It's got the illusion of being evil because you threaten the people that want you to behave. Have a good day, guys!